It was not the deja vu we were hoping for. Phoenix Rising, they lose away to Charleston Battery. It's not quite the same magic of 2023. We talk about that as well as asking the age-old question, Texoma, more Texas, more Oklahoma? Find out in 30. Hello and welcome live from Studio
God,
K,
Max, that
Circle
actually hit my ears, Max.
Go in, sign up for that Inner Circle membership. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. And also, I would say this is a Max Simpson exclusive, but it's not. It's free for all Inner Circle members and even everyone throughout participating locations. Tomorrow, June 26th, it is Fuel Day. Save up to 40 cents per gallon from 6 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. at participating locations only at Circle K. It is the best. Leave a like on your way in here. This is the PHNX Rising podcast in one of my favorite places in the darn world. I am Max Simpson. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the person, Owain, the Oracle Evans. How are we doing, sir?
My ear's still ringing.
Yeah, we are. So
look what you did, Max. Look what you did.
We gotta love it. We gotta love it. We also got Noah behind the brand redacted computer, making the beep boops behind the thing. But we got a great show. We got a lot going on, right? Phoenix Rising. We're gonna cover a little review of their crippling loss. No, I'm kidding. Against Charleston Battery, a little 4-1 action. Again, it was not too kind of a rematch from the 2023 USL Championship Final. Of course, we'll talk a little Texoma action in the USL Brand Redacted Cup. I mean,
the Jägermeister Cup.
Okay, well, that is, I guess, the
Jägermeister Cup, Max.
I suppose that is.
You're a big Jägermeister Cup fan, Max.
It is a solid competition, and we'll leave it at that.
Jägermeister Cup.
We will leave it at that, which is sold to Circle K, the drink, not the cup. Let's start, right? Charleston Battery.
Not the Jägermeister Cup. This was in the regular season.
That is correct.
Good.
In the USL
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
In the USL Championship, yep. They Phoenix Rising lose 4-1 away to Charleston Battery. Again, not the same fortune as that wonderful, glorious night those years, a few years ago, 2023 USL Championship Final. This team club made me get a tattoo of Adman, but I digress. Right?
You Adman.
Yes. Phoenix Rising. In the 4-1 loss, right, we were talking about before we came on, there were times where Phoenix Rising as a whole wasn't necessarily a poor performance, yet it was one of those where we say that, in this same breath, two things can be true. That could have been a 6-7-1 route that Rising was in.
Yeah, it's a weird one, wasn't it? Yeah. Really weird, because you're right. It didn't feel like this was Rising went away and got battered. That's not how it felt at all. Quite frankly, up until the fourth went in, you were almost like, maybe there's a chance that something gets going. Maybe you get one little break in there and you think, okay, good, maybe you can push for a second and ultimately come away with a draw, try and snatch something. Rising didn't do that. Look, they could have conceded 5 or 6, genuinely. They could have conceded a 7th. I don't even know. At the end of the day, you look at what Charleston did, and it was just, I think it shows really what a top club in this league should look like. They just managed to kind of, not look at their best and yet walk away with just an absolutely massive win in the end. In the end by 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, right, as you're looking to pinpoint where things kind of went off the rails for Rising. I mean, again, it seems to fall into, especially this match more than a lot of ones, when they are on the counter, when they're pushing upwards. We saw it in the goal, created a beautiful link up between Colin Smith and with Hope of AU, right? It really is when this team is free-flowing, when they're pushing numbers forward, it can be devastating for the opposition. Yet at the same time, it seemed like there was just a massive gap, not just between midfield and defense, but even this game, a couple of runs in behind that led to goals. It was either defense playing a little bit too far back. We're kind of vulnerable in some of that edge of the box runs. And also, too, just a lot of separation in between left back, center back to center back, center back to right back. Just a lot of major gaps that Charleston exploited pretty well.
I mean, that first goal really showed it off, didn't it? How does MD Myers get that space?
5 or 6 rising players.
How do you get that much space? And yes, there were moments afterwards you think maybe if you deal with it a little bit more in the midfield, you put a bit more pressure on. It doesn't happen. There were moments where you almost wonder as well a little bit, well, that could have turned into a goal where it's just maybe a little bit sloppy out of the back, giving the ball away in bad areas in ways that leave you exposed a little bit. It was not Rising's best performance, I think, in their own half by any stretch. Quite frankly, Charleston were pretty good value, I think, for the 4 goals in the end, just from the chances that they had in this game. Even if, yes, that 4th goal is a little bit of a fluke, you think there's an element of it being a little bit of a fluke in there, but Myers misses an absolute sitter earlier. That probably should have
2-1 at that point. Could have made it worse.
Could have made it a lot worse. Could have made it a lot worse. Should we have a listen to what Pa-Modou Kah had to say about that last game against Charleston?
Yeah, I think when you look at the results, sometimes results can be blinding. I think we played, we had occasions, we had opportunities. The learning points that we took away is to be finishers like Charleston, because they took their chances at the right moment. We didn't. But overall, I was very pleased with the performance. And when you look at the guys, it has been, I don't want to make no excuses, but you go on Tulsa, humidity, but you go there, it's 97. So that takes a toll, but overall, I'm very happy. I don't think we far off, I think it's more about just the moment of sometimes realization in the game where you just go and you just hit 3-4-0, 5-0. Are we capable of? 100%, right? That's the moment that you wait. And that's why sometimes result like this, it can be good in a way of we learn. That's why when people talk about, you lost a game. We didn't lose a game, we learned. So what were the learnings we took away from the game? Being critical and clinical, right? 1, take your chances when they arrive. Hope got 3, but he made 1, right? They had what? How many 100% chances you can say that they had? Not many, but some of them, what they took it, and credit to them, and that's something that we learned from.
I mean, right, it's one of those where this club, again, we've said it since the beginning of the season, you continue to see the iteration, continue to see the progress. This is one where I think this has been a bit of a nagging problem that hasn't completely gone away from this club. Again, some aspects I think they're able to tighten up, but we have, again, seen this. It is a bit of that on the counter and a bit when you're overcommitting forward. I like the style how they play, and this is not even anything down in my mind to... You are very committed to the front foot, and you just kind of live and die with the consequences that come to it. It's just, we saw it. Sometimes it goes your way. Sometimes it doesn't. This was one of those matches. It did not go your way.
No, it didn't go their way at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take a look at By the Numbers for a little bit more in-depth look, presented by our friends over at Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Phoenix Rising 1, Charleston Battery 4. Little XG here. It's a relatively, I'd say, somewhat balanced. I mean, you're right, 1.27 XG for Phoenix Rising. 2 XG for Charleston Battery. Again, does not quite tell the story, knowing that there were so many chances for Charleston Battery.
Yeah, but one thing I'm going to say here, it's also a little bit of a tale of 2 halves. Rising did very little in the second half. 0.26 XG in the second half. And I don't think really threatened, to be honest, in a lot of ways. At the same time, Rising had 72% of the possession. You see it's 64-36 there of the entire game. Second half alone, Rising had 72% of the possession. You got to do more. You gotta do more. With 72% possession, you have to do more. Absolutely. You can't have 1 shot on target to show for that.
Absolutely. Phoenix Rising outshot 10-16 in favor of Charleston. Again, Charleston converting half of their chances on target. Phoenix Rising, about the same, 4 of 10 for them. So proportion-wise, relatively similar. It's just, Charleston, they got into more threatening positions earlier on. They had, a bit of the higher quality edges to it. And again, you look at the numbers, relatively even. You look at the eye test. It wasn't even a horrible match for Rising. This just comes down to there are moments where some teams are going to be more clinical than you on that day. And especially for a team like Charleston, where their second teams, their guys coming off their bench are first team caliber to a lot of clubs within this league. if you go,
they put Carl Jennings on the bench.
That's what I'm saying. If you go missing with your chances,
Aaron Malloy was an unused
if you go missing with your chances in this league, especially at away to a club like Charleston, it's going to be tough on you. That's kind of what Phoenix Rising ran into.
Look, Charleston have just signed as well. Jeremy Kelly today. Look, they are
just,
as a team
stupid loaded.
I think if you're looking past Charleston for the title at the end of the year, now they may not do it. There's some other good teams in this league as well. Obviously, Louisville are always going to be up there. But if you're looking past Charleston as a serious contender at the end of the year, you're wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong.
You ain't wrong. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat, by the way. Going on, Pat, what was uglier, Rising's defense or the state of that pitch? I mean, you know,
it could have been worse.
Charleston's honestly like, was it good?
It
no.
wasn't a great.
Was it a great? No. Cerebrally,
worse.
optically, not at all. I mean, listen, like again, I will take a actual pitch compared to some of the other ones that we've seen in this league. So low bar, but I know the Wilsons, Samantha and Wilson. Hello from Newport Beach, and James. It is Mackenzie's 10th birthday. That is amazing. Happy birthday, Mackenzie. Actually. No, if we haven't, if we haven't pulled up,
you're throwing this at a bad time to our poor producer here.
Oh, if we have
busy working away at the moment.
Working away. I'm just trying.
He is busy working away at the moment.
I sent him a little message of just want to make sure that we have.
He's trying to fix something right now. Let the guy work.
He knows that this show is nothing but off the chaos. But we'll let him come back to it as it's working. I mean, Mackenzie got a little gift for you. Well, Matt, Pat, Paxton Montgomery looking his age a bit on the past few, 100%. Again, it's just some of that positioning. Sometimes when you over-rely on athleticism, and I think that's prone to any player at a young age. And going Pat, one of the best players didn't even get off the bench. That's exactly it. This team, Charleston, just absolutely crazy loaded.
They're a really good team. I think it was said in the press conference last week, this is probably one of the best teams in the league. And obviously you get the little chuckle from Pa, who'll also go, well, I think we're one of the best teams in the league. But no, they Charleston really are one of the best teams in the league.
Absolutely. Well, we got more to talk about Phoenix Rising moving forward and on to certainly different.
Also, Arturo Rodriguez. Has we not?
Oh my gosh, how have we not?
How have we not mentioned the fact that Arturo Rodriguez, former Phoenix Rising player,
got quality.
He showed it. He showed it in this game, right?
We knew he was a guy to watch.
95% passing accuracy,
he was a guy to watch.
2 goals.
Had the brace.
Made team of the week.
He kind of showed you both, right? That second goal was very much. It was a bit of that like right place, right time. Some players just has that nose for the box, but that first one, dude, he had a lot to do. He was cutting. He had to cut, kind of do a pump fake, hesitation, cut back on his right foot, and then still shoot a cross goal falling away. That is not easy to do.
He's a good player. Arturo Rodriguez, who finished second in voting for player of the week, by the way.
Nice. All righty. Well, let's take a look on the other side of the break. We'll chat more about Phoenix Rising's upcoming matchup. Don't go anywhere. All right. Phoenix Rising, right? They're trying to compete, hedge their bets, so to speak. We're trying the same thing over here with PHNX and our friends at Vimy. Vimy is the first of its kind person-to-person betting app out there. It's finally something where you can bet with anyone, anything, anytime. Case in point, this is very easy, right, to kind of to quantify how we can make these wagers, whether it's for money or for free, make it fun, make it really interesting. For example, let's say I want to, bet Statlacky Reese. I'm like, hey, Statlacky, who can eat more hot dogs, you or me? I mean, the answer, it's clearly going to be me, right? Because, Statlacky.
Max loves guzzling a few hot dogs.
He can't even get through one. How many did he get through on the counter? Barely any.
2, I believe.
2 on the counter. It was a poor performance.
Whereas Max definitely can go along with guzzling down those hot dogs.
Exactly. But with Vimy, it makes it easy. No more of these handshake bets that don't go anywhere and that it's not trackable and that, hey, someone lost a bet. They can't pay up or anything. No, Vimy.
That sounds like something you'd do, Max.
No. But with Vimy, you don't have to worry about that.
I don't
trust no more chasing the cash. It's
Remember
not
how long we had to get you to do that tattoo?
Stop. Well,
see, so I need you. If I'm ever doing a bet with you, we're using Vimy.
That's fair. Well, with Vimy, all you have to do is send a bet, and all the money is collected up front. No more, I'll pay you later. No more sore losers. No more people who are not holding up their end of the bargain.
Max.
All you got to fair enough. All you got to do, download the Vimy app today. Play using the promo code PHNX when you sign up. Available on the App Store and Google Play. Vimy, anyone, anything, anytime. Also, it is summertime, folks. Make sure to get in on some Shady Rays. Shady Rays, again, make sure you use promo code PHNX for 35% off your polarized shades. You look fantastic doing it. It is summertime. It is hot. It is sunny. You gotta be able to cool down, right? We got the NBA draft going on. Someone's gonna be a new Phoenix Sun. Well, speaking of suns, you gotta get some Shady Rays. Make sure to block out the haters, especially if there's one sitting right next to you.
This is what I deal with every week.
Yeah, but Shady Rays, I would love to deal with some Shady Rays each and every day, which I do. I have multiple sets, right? I have one almost a little classic aviator style. The other one, just straight up the blackout version. You want to black out with Shady Rays. Again, promo code PHNX, 35% off of your order. Again, get the shades rated 5 stars or better by what? 500,000+ people? It's crazy. Again, Shady Rays, promo code PHNX, save 35% off your order.
What's better than 5 stars, Max? What is better than 5 stars? I don't
know. Did I say better than?
You just said 5 stars or better, didn't you?
No, I said.
Well, I mean 6 stars.
This is true.
You could give 6 stars, but can
if they
you
had
give
a
6
rating
stars?
for 6 stars,
He'd give it.
Shady Rays. Of
He'd
course.
give it. Oh yeah, Max
of course. We'll back Phoenix Rising.
I'm just intrigued though, like what Max would do if something was better than
it's
5
stars plus a Max
what would you
smiley
do?
face thumbs up.
Max smiley. See, but that to me isn't worth anything.
They should do that for their national campaign.
Yeah, they should. We got plenty of moneymakers at PHNX. You can get it done.
And it's not Max.
Speaking of moneymakers at PHNX, that can get it done. We do have a little something to Wilsons. Thank you for your patience. Take a look. Hey, Mackenzie, happy birthday, Wrexham. We love that. It is a wonderful drawing of the Oracle himself supporting Wrexham as he does. Owain, care to comment?
No. Yeah, I'll comment here that Max is the first guy to put all these pictures up that are drawn of either me or of Reese. But I've been told on good authority that there was a picture drawn of you with your massive water bottle. Okay, this absolutely. Can we go back to the camera a minute? Because you just need to see. Look at the size of this thing he's got here, right? When we come into the office here and there's no water here, it's because Max has gone and filled that thing up about 5 times.
First off, I filled my water bottle at Circle K, along with getting a Polar Pop and all the other delicious.
But you also fill it up here and take all of our water, don't you, Max?
That's crazy.
Yes.
See, you got no proof.
But you never show that picture, do you? I want us to show that. Semantics. And I've seen it. I've seen it. And it's a very good picture.
Yeah, well.
Great artistry. But Max won't show that because Max, see.
Are you spin zoning me right now?
It's so easy to do, Max. You make this easy. Like, again, it's much like the tattoo. This is why.
I got the tattoo eventually.
This is why if I ever make a bet with Max now, we've got to use Vimy because I don't trust you. See? That is true. There's a picture of you with a life-size water bottle. It's huge.
Can we actually even verify, by the way, that there is minimals? Maybe it's
no, it's true.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Kevin in the chat, hydration is key. Absolutely.
You won't show that on the show, will you, man?
I think we lost the file. We don't know where it is. It is what it is.
Okay. Well, send it through to us again, guys, if you can. I'm sure you got it there because Max will definitely show it next week.
Send it through.
Won't you, Max?
Yes.
Anyway, I think he's committed to that. Don't you think he's committed to that now?
Let's get back to talking. Yes. The beautiful game as they do. Phoenix Rising.
Back on topic, is it, Max?
As much as we can. Phoenix Rising playing in the brand redacted cup.
Jägermeister Cup.
I guess that is what they call it.
Get a bit of Jäger.
Against Texoma.
Shot at glory.
For those in the chat, no cheating, no Googling. Is Texoma quick? More Texas, more Oklahoma?
It's Texas. They play in Sherman, Texas, Max.
It's not in the stadium name.
Well, that's where they play.
I mean, people may not know that.
Thank you, Amanda.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah, Devin, let Max be hydrated. We love it. Yeah,
hydration. No. Max doesn't need to be hydrated.
That's crazy. Yeah, well, Texoma, for those of you who have not been looking up the answer, it is a bit more on the Texas side as opposed to. Yes,
I think we tried looking up stuff that had happened in Sherman, Texas once. It's a bit more
on the Texas to the Oklahoma. It is really right there. Texoma FC, again, they're in USL League One currently, right, pretty much squarely in the middle of the table there. Couple familiar faces, and of course, it is one of a rising legend, really someone who has epitomized everything Phoenix Rising has to offer, has been one of the great players of the club. Lamb and
Max, I was going to say. Max is talking, of course,
favorite.
about lamb and Jowney.
Owen's favorite.
No, I mean, let's start with the man himself, the real one, not
Lamb. Yeah,
Lambing. No, we're not starting with Lambing. We're going to start with Solomon Asante.
It is Solomon Asante week.
Someone that we've seen
Solo week.
Someone that we've seen in games since he's moved on from Rising, obviously. But again, a different one this time. Hey, he's doing okay. He's doing okay in League One. Guy's got 4 goals spread over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last 7 games, he scored 4 goals, including critical last-minute winner against Charlotte Independence this past week. So let's give him credit for that. What a goal! 90 plus 6 gets the win 3-2.
Yeah,
as a result of that. So yeah, Solo's doing things now that they're getting results. Solo's found a way. 13
matches, 4 goals. Across on all competitions.
They didn't start the season very well, no. Texoma, though, overall, right? They started with quite a few losses to kick the season off. But they're starting to find their way. I don't believe they've lost a league game since May.
Yeah.
Like the very beginning of May.
Yeah, that
first
was
weekend of May.
The last one, yes, was the first
and
weekend
they've won
of May.
4 games since then.
Yep, they lost 3-4 to Charlotte Independence. Here's the thing. Actually, since that match, including that match, since then, Solomon Asante has scored in every other match. Like clockwork, right?
Guys still got it.
It is for the club. It is, again, like we mentioned, it is solo week. All the contributions that he's done across the USL landscape. Definitely a player to obviously watch, of course, from the Texoma end. I mean, you're looking as well within this brand redacted competition, right? Both teams, sitting in different positions, but of course, Texoma, they have 1 point, sitting second from the bottom of USL Cup Group 2. Phoenix Rising squarely in the middle on 2 points, just behind number 1 and 2 New Mexico United and Colorado Springs Switchbacks. I mean, listen, we always have this discussion, right? Phoenix Rising, what are they going to look to put into this match, given, again, it is going away to Texoma. They just came off of that loss in the league to Charleston Battery. Is this one where do you look to try to even stay within this matchup and within this cup competition?
Well, the Jaeger.
That's what they call it, yep.
I mean, I think they're going to go out there and try. And look, you want to bounce back after last week. The worst thing you can do possibly is come off of that Charleston game that you don't feel too bad about it and then go away to Texoma and disappoint.
That's true. Keep in mind, by the way, currently in the cup, Colorado Springs Switchbacks are second along with San Antonio FC in third. They are playing each other right now. It is a 0-0 draw.
Thrilling.
In the first half, yes.
In the first half. But absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's... You want to push on and see what you can do. It's...
Given potential goal differential, especially if this match holds, Colorado Springs and San Antonio, you win this match, you are going to be in the top of the cup currently.
Yeah. You'll be up around that.
You'll see what happens, of course, New Mexico and everything like that. But, I mean, hey, listen, it's one of those where, again, I understand, as we've seen, especially knowing the roster a little bit thin, given, Gold Cup and all the other competitions. But especially with ones like this, I feel it almost does more harm than good to not pull out a full-side squad and saying, hey, you want to beat these teams that you need to. I understand You can try to bring in some players. Maybe you try to, it's the competition, seeing what it is. I think you got to, especially in this one where you are not out of this competition, you put up a very valiant 2-pointed victory. I know you hate the word victory against New Mexico United because it wasn't in 90 minutes, whatever. Ooh. Whatever. But you
don't win.
Okay, here we go. You end up getting those 2 points. You end up getting those 2 points from against New Mexico United at home within the cup. I like to see it. Go put out a strong side squad. It doesn't have to be all your main starting 11. We know that they're out on different competitions anyway. But if you are able to
say, actually, by the way, you're bringing that bit up. Obviously, Carl Saint's back. You also point out that Jearl Margaritha is due in today. But as we look at things, are you at a point where I know they're easing him in? Do you look at Xian Emmers getting
I don't hate it.
more minutes in this one, right?
Again, I don't think
he started on 14 up to 10, down to 10, up to 30 in this last match.
I don't think it's.
Is he at a point where maybe you can try and get a half out of him?
I don't mind it at all. Again, I don't think this is one where, listen, you're not going to have the luxury of your full starting 11 anyway, but I think it's one where, we've seen in years past, right, these types of competitions. Okay, you're maybe seeing half the squad or something like that. It depends on the position, everything like that. But like, I still think given, there are guys who are trying to work in minutes and everything like that, I want to see this club put out 7 or 8, starting positions where it's like there's some real quality there and that you are looking, especially it's this one match this week, you are trying to go on the road and, stay in this competition, simple as that.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see, especially based off this Charleston Battery game? And, some of the guys who, stood out, maybe could improve their performance.
Who do I want to see?
Who would you like to see?
I want to see Lamin Jaune because I think that's going to give Ryzen the best possible chance of victory. Look,
this guy's brutal.
We're saying it right now. Lamin Jaune, I'm afraid, and I may be writing a team talk here, but hey, we're going to do it anyway. I genuinely think that Lamin Jaune is one of the worst players I've ever seen play for Phoenix Rising. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. But we need to be real about this. That guy was not good. He was really not good. Okay, and I don't think he's good even at a League One level. I don't think this is a particularly good player.
Did you look at his stats?
He's missed a lot of games in a row now. He did get an assist, actually, I think, for that solo goal. And he also got booked in 2 minutes. He's not good. He's not a good player. Is he a good player, Max? Are you looking at his FOTMob ratings right now?
No.
What's his rating? Go on, get it up. What's his rating? Pull it up. What is his rating for the season?
Oh, man.
For the season now.
Yeah.
Come on. I need to see Lamin Jaune. What is he doing on the season? I don't care what he did last game. I want to know on the season.
Oh, man. He has
6.43. He is not good.
It's not great.
He is not good.
Hey, he has a gentleman's 11 matches and okay, well maybe 0 goals.
He actually, by the way, missed the penalty that
2 assists.
They lost the shootout.
Okay, so what if he has more yellow cards than goal contributions? Like,
because he's bad. He was not good when he played for. I'm sorry, and there's a part of me that looks back on that time, that looks back at Phoenix Rising, and the kind of demise of the Rick Chance era, and Lamin Jaune was a part of that at the end. But I genuinely think when you look at it, you can say that when he came in, it was kind of one of those moments where you were just like, well, if this is the idea, then I mean, you might need to.
I'm just gonna
maybe throw it all out at this point.
I'm just gonna put this out there, and I think the chat very much can resonate this.
He's not good.
Lamin is 1 letter away from Lamine, and who do we know? First name Lamine Yamal. I'm just saying.
This guy is not Lamine Yamal.
They play the same position. Similar positions. I'm just saying.
He's not Lamine Yamal. I can say that.
Lamine, it's
and this is why Max Simpson isn't trusted to recruit for an actual football team.
Yeah, well, similar.
To be like, we're signing Lamine Yamal. They bring in Lamin Jaune.
What's that, a typo? You promised me world class. We're 1 letter off. Getting back to the Phoenix Rising perspective, who would you like to see?
Lamin Jaune.
Stop it. I said on Phoenix Rising. On Phoenix Rising currently. Who?
Max not cooking.
Well, that's not me.
Thank you.
Where would you rather? Who would you want to see?
I don't want to know what Max is cooking right now.
That's why I'm not as good with
probably spinach half bell pepper pizza.
I did not bake that. Also, I'm not the cook in the household. I'm not the better cook. Anyway, what?
He's digging himself a hole again.
No,
he's digging himself a hole.
Whoa.
Back on track. Right.
For Phoenix Rising, who currently plays for Phoenix Rising, who would you like to see step up, have maybe a bit of a redemption game, or who feature some more minutes, especially as starters or quote unquote would be starters are coming back into the fold after international competitions?
If you see Carl Saint play, I want to see him put in a decent shift. I feel like Braxton bouncing back would be helpful for him.
Nice. Yes.
Didn't have the best of games by his kind of standards.
Sure.
I think we need to be honest and say, look, this guy he's a kid. A lot of pressure's been put on him to play a lot of minutes early in this season, and he's going to learn. He's going to take time to learn. You gotta wait until you kind of get to that point, because not everything is going to immediately come to him. He's in his first professional season. You got to give him time. I think that's a pretty critical part here. I really want to see the midfield look a bit more imposing, I think, than they did in the last game. I don't think Rising were particularly good at shutting down transitional moments through the middle of the park. If that means that JP Skis and Noble Akalo need to be a bit more switched on in those moments, I think, compared to where they were in the last game, sure. I don't think Pat at all. I mean, Pat should have been better on goal number 4, but I don't think really. Like, you look at goals 1 and 2, and it's like you can't leave the guy on an island. It's a bit unfair at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fourth one is kind of tough. I mean, I don't disagree. It could have been better. It's also one of those like, it's such a weird one, man. Like, if that happens to goal like number 2, you're a little bit more fired up on it. I mean, it's not to say I'm not going to take that goal in isolation, but it's also like, at that point, match is done. It's, fourth goal, just brutal, left out on an island. It's tough. We'll see, man. I think the entire team, right? Again, you just need to be able to have a bit more solidity through the midfield, in between the defensive line. Not only between each player on the defensive line, but again, in between the midfield and the defense. This is something we continue to bring up. It's how this team plays. So you never want that fully out of how this team plays, because that takes away the bit of what makes them so attacking and entertaining offensively. You just want to be able to have more of that team unity of when they're all dropping back, they're all moving forward, just having a bit more reinforcements behind the ball.
Yeah. All right. Here's a question there about Akala's performance on
James
Saturday.
asked in the chat.
I'm gonna tell you about it. I think this season, I want to see more from him.
I agree.
And I don't mean that in the sense of like, I want to see him play more right now. I want to see him step up. I don't think he's doing enough, quite frankly. And we mentioned those transitional moments, dealing with those moments. I think defensively, when you look at I don't think he's doing enough at the moment, unfortunately. I think he needs to step up. I mean, look, the guy clearly has a pedigree to him from the places he played when he was younger, from getting caps for Canada, right? There's got to be more to him. But I just don't see that, I think, so far this season. Do you see it? Do you see a guy who's now 24 that has already been capped by Canada? Is that what you see when you look at Noble Akalo play at the moment? No. I don't see him hitting that level right now. I just don't see him.
Kevin in the chat, Noble's not lived up to his size or name. Yeah. He's a ghost. And
it's funny because I genuinely think when we looked at this midfield, I think a lot of people thought that Akalo might be possibly the best player they were bringing in. I think it was Hope Avayevu that people were saying off the bat was going to be the guy. And Noble's just, I think, disappointed so far this season. He's got time. He might be able to step it up. But you've also got a box-to-box midfielder now in Cian Emmers who's come in, who's going to probably put some pressure on you for minutes. And quite frankly, if Noble's going to keep playing the way that Noble has played so far this season, bring on Emmers, quite frankly. You've got to do more to earn those minutes. Minutes shouldn't be just given out there. I don't think with options available that Pa is going to be just giving out minutes. That's not the kind of coach I see him as being. I think that Noble's going to have to earn them. And I need to be perfectly honest now. I don't think Noble's earned them so far this season.
I think honestly, a lot of where he's been out there, I think it's been due to either lack of ability, that you have some, or lack of availability, excuse me. You have some guys like, again, a JP who can play within that midfield, but has had to be a bit within the back line, have other guys who have had to deputize within some of those defensive reinforcements. Listen, it comes down to me of like, he is a guy who, when you look at his stature, where you look at what he can do, you can see where the talent is, and you can see that there is something to it. This to me is not a guy who is lacking of talent or who is lacking of why Phoenix Rising wanted to bring him in. I think that is just the issue, is if you don't have that consistency, and I don't know, that comes down to what you want out of from a coaching perspective, and what you want out of someone who is consistently going to be named within your starting 11. It's maybe one thing if this is maybe a bit more of a impact performance or bench performance or rotational player where, it's maybe a bit more boom or bust, but you can live with the highs even if it comes with some of the lows. If you are looking at someone who is contending within the starting 11, your floor and that consistency that you need to have it has to be just raised higher. Maybe you're not going to get the 10 out of 10 performances every single time, but your floor, it can't be this, one match, it's a 3 or 4, an invisible sometimes. The next match, it's up to, 7 or so. Like, you need to be consistently within hitting a solid upper echelon, especially in the midfield, where, as we know, a lot of these times, a lot of these goals, a lot of these moments that Phoenix Rising are giving up, I'm not going to say it's a fully down to him, but it is a lot coming from the midfield. And especially when you are not contributing in that same offensive performance like your midfield compatriot, like a Hope Avayewu, people are going to start be pointing the finger. And it's at that point where, as you have guys coming in, as you have guys coming back, the conversation, it's not going to slow down. It's only going to continue.
All right. Well, you know what? We've got some predictions to make, but should we hang off on those for now?
Yeah, I think we should hang on other side of the break, and we'll talk a little bit more about predictions for this match. Riveting match in the Brand Redacted Cup. And let's hear from
Jägermeister Cup.
Let's hear it from some of our friends. Don't go anywhere. Well, I got to just tip my cap to our friends over at Branded Bills. See what I did there. Branded Bills, right? The NBA draft.
I wish I didn't.
The NBA draft is going on. Prospects, they're donning the hat, right? They're like, oh my gosh, this is my new team, right? Phoenix Suns, they draft a player. Cooper Flag, they have new hats. That's all great and all. I think they'd feel a little bit better, a whole lot of bit better, if those hats were Branded Bills hats. Branded Bills, they have the best hats in the darn game.
They're better than Max's ad reads, I'll put it that way.
I think they're fantastic, right? I'm talking about Branded Bills and, of course, my ad reads, but Branded Bills, they are the fantastic, right? If you go to brandedbills.com, use promo code BBPHNX, you can save 15% off your order. That's right, BBPHNX at brandedbills.com, 15% off your order. They have all the different types of varieties. Again, July 4th, it's right around the corner. Make sure you stock up ahead of the holiday with some amazing hats. It's going to be sunny. You're going to be out by the pool. Enjoy it. Check them out again, brandedbills.com, promo code BBPHNX. Save 15% off of your order with our friends at Branded Bills. Also, right, you don't have any plans for 4th of July. You want to say, hey, man, I really wish that I could, hang out, drink some beers, watch some sports, eat some great food, and play some pickleball. Boy, do I have a place for you. Go down to Chicken Pickle out in Glendale, Arizona. It's your spot for great food, amazing friends, absolutely some fun. They have indoor and outdoor pickleball courts, right? You want to hit the pickleball courts a little bit early in the morning? They got you covered. Middle of the day, got you covered with those indoor ones as well. They have more than 50 TVs inside and outside. We have been there before. Life-size battleship, cornhole, all the events. The food is genuinely amazing. The fact that a place is pickleball related and it's leading with the chicken and not the pickle. It's not called pickle and chicken. It's called chicken and pickle. It is that darn good. We're going to have chicken. Oh my gosh, we're going to have chicken tournaments. That's not it. Pickleball tournaments there later in the next few months. Visit chickenpickle.com to plan your visit today. And shout out to our friends there. All right, cool. It's the PHX Rising podcast, the Max Simpson Variety Hour. Oh,
no,
it back.
Isn't. That's enough, Max.
Oh, it's back. Leave a like on the way here. We got you guys on the chat, which we appreciate. Leave a like. Helps us out. Makes Noah not yell at us and Owen, here.
Yay!
Yeah, see, he's happy.
That gets a yay, apparently.
Yes, let's see. James in the chat on the positive. Hope has definitely been great. Is he talking about the players? Is he talking about the vibe? Maybe both.
Hope Avayewu.
Yes, I know. Devin, Owen, what do you think of Gareth Bale and Fanatics trying to take over Cardiff for ownership?
Go on. Why not?
Wait, Fanatics is as well? I did not know that part.
Don't forget. Let's see. Kev actually does ask a question as we were talking about the midfield. Why have Jameson Ping's minutes disappeared? He runs hard, makes good decisions every time, and he believes he has more awareness. What are your thoughts? What's your take on that, O?
Ping? Yeah, I mean, if you're going to ask why his minutes have disappeared, I can't give you a perfect answer. I would presume there's probably an element of some variety of he's young.
He is.
Let's be real with that.
18.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's raw. I think he looks very raw. I think he has elements of a lot.
It's a lot to ask for.
He's raw. He's young.
Although other guys are.
It's good. No, I know, and
it's all different.
He's capable of playing at this level. I have no question about that. But look, it's going to take time. You can't rush some of these guys. The worst thing you want to do is rush them, burn them out way too young. Trust that he's probably the time is being managed reasonably with him, right? And at the end of the day, when you see Jameson Ping out there, usually he plays in a slightly more attacking role. Yes. He's going to play more of your Hope Aveyevu role in there. That forces Hope to play out wide on the wing, which I don't think is the best utilization of Hope Aveyevu. So there's also that as well. You got to consider that, the tactical balance and how that all goes together.
Absolutely. We're going to have to see. I mean, I don't know. I think this midfield is going to continue to be a question. Again, I think that's just how the way they play. Hope Aveyevu, he continues to show up. I mean, get on the score sheet in some capacity, seemingly every match, or at the very least, threatening within goal contributions. I mean, he is one where, again, undroppable from the squad and has very much provided that stability, that solidifyingness within the midfield. And again, even on a quote unquote off night for him, like we're talking about, his floor very high, his ceiling also very high. So solid player like that. We're just gonna have to see other players, what that looks like if they're able to break into that same mold. Score predictions, sir. Texoma. What do we got? While you're thinking, Noah, first off, you think more of the Tex or the Oma is going to show up for this Texoma team?
Definitely the Oma. I really don't think they're going to go full Tex on them. Shout out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Nice. How do you feel about Sherman, Texas?
Sherman,
Texas.
I'm more of a Gary, Indiana guy myself.
I can see that.
Yeah, but yeah, I think
Gary, Indiana is a bigger city than Sherman, Texas is.
How many people are in Sherman?
Well,
Texas?
Gary, Indiana has, let's have a look. The population at the last census was 69,093.
That's a good number.
In Sherman, Texas, the population is 43,645.
Wow. Good for Gary. Good for them.
Yeah. The motto of Sherman, Texas is Classic Town, Broad Horizon.
Wow.
And the only picture it has at the top of the Wikipedia page for this is just this like courthouse building.
What the heck is that?
It's just a really boring looking courthouse.
Paul Brown.
I mean, but that's it. That's Sherman, Texas, apparently.
That the guy who
I did look at if I was to go to Sherman, Texas to watch this game, and I'm not. I'm going to be clear on that one. Where would you stay? And it's just like a row of like all the most basic chain hotels right off a freeway. And that's kind of Sherman, Texas. It's opposite like the chain restaurant that you kind of expect it to be.
Cool.
Next to the chain grocery store that you kind of expect it to be. And it's in the middle of nowhere. They don't have an airport with commercial service.
Okay.
You have to fly to Dallas and then like drive for an hour and a half. Apparently, it's just down the road from Eisenhower Birthplace State Historic Sites.
Oh my God.
That's just up the road from Sherman, Texas.
Do you know what?
You want to see where President Dwight Eisenhower was born?
Do you want to know what the the motto of Gary, Indiana is?
What is it?
Be careful.
Is that actually?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
But it is.
I mean, that would be quite
true.
funny.
Well, I do.
No, the motto is "We are doing great things."
That is very untrue.
I do have very, very good news. The stadium where Texoma plays, it is within 7 minutes of our beloved Circle K, so all is saved.
Is that really the case, Max?
That might be the highlight. That might be the absolute highlight of.
Hang on a minute. I'm just if Devon's gonna fact check me, I'm gonna just double check this. But it's not even it's like an hour at most. If you get out of toll roads, it's an hour and 10 minutes.
What are you talking
From
about?
DFW Airport to Sherman, Texas. He's saying 2 hours.
That's crazy.
No, it is not, Devon. No, it is not.
Anyway, no, I forgot to ask you. I mean, you did say it's more of the Oma than the Tex, so I appreciate that. Again, thank you for the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood reference.
Not a problem at all.
What would you have for a score prediction?
Let's go 3-2 Rising.
Whoa, like a little chaos ball. I don't hate it. It kind of honestly feels right. Okay.
Nah, I'm going 4-1.
4-1
Rising.
Okay, just want to make sure. 2-1 for Kevin in the chat. Solo
they
gets
take it
a late goal
seriously.
for
This Texoma team ain't good.
No,
there are good teams in League One. I'm not going to believe anyone who says that one that has plays for Lamin Jaune is a good team.
Yeah, Lamin Jaune revenge game. You know what?
Look, I don't know if he knows where the goal is.
I think Lamin Jaune revenge game, I think, is what you're trying to say. Give me a...
No, I'm not giving you a pat on the back, Max. I know you want one. You feel like you're probably doing it to yourself right now.
Give me
that
a
joke
3-1.
was terrible.
Give me a 3-1.
3-1.
Give me Jay in the chat. What rebuild we're making around this season? I love it, and it all starts with the next edition of the Cup.
Jägermeister Cup.
The Cup. Well,
Jägermeister Cup coming up.
Oh boy. Well, we got a little bit more around USL, a little Gold Cup to talk about. I'm sure some other randomness.
Is there anything else in Sherman? I'm just kind of looking right now.
Well, while you're looking,
I mean, one of the biggest obvious things that kind of stands out. There's just like a cemetery. Nice.
I think James Wilson.
I don't know what else is there. Meat market. Let's go.
Max, I got a new name for you for the Jägermeister Cup.
What's that?
It'd be the served cold cup, because Jägermeister should not be served anyway. But
you know
cold.
what? I will allow that. The served cold cup from henceforth.
It's the Jägermeister Cup. No, it's the Jägermeister Cup.
I deemed the served cold cup.
It's the Jägermeister Cup. I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know if that's factually accurate.
They got a plastic surgeon in Sherman.
While you're looking up the random things
to need a plastic surgeon.
While you're looking up
I'm just trying to find things that aren't like random like brands that he'll kill me for if I mention. But it is like every like boring brand that you can possibly imagine. They exist.
No, plastic surgery.
Circle K is fine.
They're amazing. The highlight of
I tell you what, there's a lot of medical facilities appearing for Sherman, Texas. Fair play.
Hey, good for them. They probably need them.
If you need kidney care, hey, they got you. You need LASIK, they got you. But like, besides that, I don't know, man. There's not a whole lot going on in Sherman, Texas, right here.
Well, we got a lot going on
the
PHNX Rising podcast. Stick with us on the other side of the break. Tell more about the beautiful game, but let's hear some words from our friends. Don't go anywhere. All right, well, listen, Owain loves babbling on about, what's going on in Sherman, Texas, and all this fun mumbo-jumbo, but I would much rather hear this conversation if I'm at Gila River Resorts Casinos at Wild Horse Pass within their Upper Deck Bar and Grill. It's a fantastic place. We are hosting multiple watch parties out there. Stick more tuned, especially for friends over at PHNX Cardinals, doing some watch parties and whatnot of the like there. But again, many of our hosts have stayed at Wild Horse Pass. It's a fantastic time. Very enjoyable. They
can confirm. I'm looking at Wild Horse Pass now, and it's got a much higher star rating than the hotels in Sherman, Texas.
It's a very low bar, but that is also because Gila River Resorts and Casinos continues to raise that bar, and then everyone else can just limbo under it. Just a fantastic place. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Again, visit playatgila.com for more details of all the fun things you can do, right? Multiple locations. They have the events. They have the Oasis Summer Party Series. They have concerts. They have comedians. They have performance acts. Everything, all these great things. Shout out our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. That's where you go on and get it. Go on and get it today. Also, check out our friends over at Bet365. People still have this thing in this office, and they haven't done it in a while because they've actually wised up. They realize I'm a pretty good bettor. But, people used to fade Max.
You are not a good bettor.
Okay, well, if you want to put that to the test, here's what you do. Download the Bet365 app. Use promo code PHNX365, and, you can get a little...
Are you ready, Max? Are you ready for this weekend?
This weekend.
You know what's coming up this weekend.
Again.
You know what's coming up this weekend.
I know what you're doing. Oh, gosh.
It is the Bet365 US Darts Masters.
Stand up.
It's the darts. It's the darts.
Stand up if you love the darts.
It's coming.
You don't love the darts.
It's coming.
You don't love the darts.
It's come on.
Who
are we taking? Who are you taking?
I don't
know
any of these players.
You don't know. Luke Littler at +175. Luke Humphreys +350. Gerwin Price +550. Michael Van Gerwen making his return.
Stephen Bunting +900. I'll take that all day.
He's going Bunting.
Yeah,
you taking that? You got to bet on this later.
I will. Yeah, I'll drop some coin in the Bet365 app. Again, promo code PHNX365. Whenever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. Physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text Next Step to 53342. In-app only. Terms and conditions apply. Opt-in required. Stephen
Bunting's actually the number 1 seed, by the way. Did you know? Technically. Because he's doing well in the World Series.
Is that right?
Yeah.
PHNX Rising. We back.
What do you mean? Kevin's just sending us things to do in Sherman, and I'm afraid that they don't really seem that attractive. Speaking of which, you know that hotel that I was saying about that didn't score very well? Apparently it's temporarily closed right now, so that's good. I wouldn't have stayed there.
Well, that's
It did get a 2.8 on this particular thing.
Dear gosh. Well, that's
Sherman, Texas.
What a guy. By the way, as we mentioned, the NBA draft is going on. Make sure, of course, to take advantage of our Die Hard sale. If you are not already one, again, is a special $36 intro offer. Exclusive content from the one, the only Mr. Jearl Bourget. It is the best Suns community in the dang planet. Join them in Discord and all the fun stuff. Again, Noah can attest to that, being the former Beep Bop producer on that show. Can you attest?
Yes.
Again, go phnx.com/intro. But yes, we're back, PHX Rising Podcast, doing the whole gosh darn thing. Mr. Owain Evans, what's your thoughts on twofold? What's your thoughts on Gold Cup, and what's your thoughts on our beloved Leagues Cup?
What?
You love the Leagues Cup, right?
I haven't even paid any attention to the Leagues Cup. Is that a thing again this year?
Yeah. Have you watched? What have you been watching? A little bit more Gold Cup?
I haven't. Leagues Cup can go get. I really don't care about Leagues Cup. I'm sorry. It's also not started yet, Max. Leagues Cup doesn't start until the end of July. What
are you talking about?
Leagues Cup.
Oh, not Leagues Cup. I'm talking
the Club World
Cup.
You know I haven't really watched much of the Club World Cup. I do find it funny that Auckland City drew against Boca Juniors and then never tweeted the final score.
Oh, yeah, you were.
So right now, it's just all like random Argentinian fans who don't like Boca Juniors hiding under the replies on the halftime graphic from Auckland City, telling the admin to post the final score because they all find it hilarious that Boca Juniors went to this tournament and drew against a team of semi-professionals. Who, by the way, many of which had to take unpaid leave from their jobs to attend this tournament because they're stuck in the US for so long to do it.
Is one of the guys a teacher, or was that someone? Someone was definitely a teacher.
I believe the guy who scored the equalizer yesterday is a trainee PE teacher.
That's pretty cool.
That's really quite funny.
Right on.
Man, that's crazy. That is freaking crazy. Okay, so you've been little Club World Cup. You a fan of the Club World Cup? What do you mean,
It just feels like something that's a bit weird. Also, to be fair, the whole thing about qualifying for it like 4 years ago, these teams are very different. Club teams churn a lot. I don't necessarily like that. I mean, the much shorter format may not be as fun in the sense of, oh, look at this. It's all this one big like festival type thing, but there's a lot of games here that people don't really care about.
Dude, there are like I wouldn't even say half empty stadiums. There are some stadiums that are barely at capacity.
Yeah,
I think my thing, like we talked about this, it's like I understand what you're trying to do from a FIBA perspective. Okay, you're trying to price these tickets, say, hey, look at these clubs that don't always come to your stadium and everything like that. But it's just like the times that they're at, and given that there's such a clearly like people pay with their feet and they pay with their wallets, right? It's not showing within the ticket demand. I'm just amazed how some of these people, right? You're hearing these reports, they're buying these things months in advance. Oh, it's $200 a pop a ticket. Trying to sell their tickets for like $40, man. It's brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal. I mean, even something like Chelsea has been in Atlanta like 3 different years in a row. So it's I don't know, maybe a little bit of fatigue. We'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. I'm a Gold Cup. That's a whole nother story. But I don't know. It's it's a toughie. The Club World Cup. I don't know, man. I get what they're trying to do. Just tough. But hey, the Cold Cup. Who do you like?
Gold Cup. Let's have a look at the bracket, shall we?
Let's do it.
Talk me through it, Max.
I'll walk through the darn bracket. So first off, June 28th, Panama versus Honduras, and then Mexico versus Saudi Arabia at Brahma Stadium, right here over
State Farm Stadium over in Glendale, yeah.
Right over in Glendale, Arizona. And then the next day, June 29th, Canada versus Guatemala. And then the U.S. taking on Costa Rica from Brandon Stadium.
That's not the U.S. has got genuinely, I'm being serious, probably the hardest path to the title I think they've had for quite some time. I don't think Canada have played well so far this tournament.
But Canada, I mean, honestly, in my mind, Canada, I mean, you're looking at who the rest of it is. It's like Canada, absolutely, you can consider them a favorite for sure. Mm-hmm. Especially, right, U.S.
I don't think Costa Rica are mugs.
No, U.S.
That's
has to get through a very gamey Costa Rica team, right? We've seen them defeat them even recently.
Much different challenge than you faced so far this tournament.
And then they win that. They have to go through Canada. I mean, it's not by any means easy, man. It's by no means guaranteed.
No, not
Again, you see the U.S., they're in flux. Like, there's a bit of, there's some quote unquote, I don't know, tough conversations going on at the federation level of seeing which of the players are, looking to be committed from,
what do we think about the fact that Pulisic doesn't want to play?
Well, what's your thoughts on a certain Landon Donovan's take on it?
I don't care what Landon Donovan has to say. Okay, the guy, balding guy, he's a terrible football manager. And I think we need to be honest about that one. He's not a good manager. I think the guy. I take what he says with a pinch of salt. Not to mention he obviously took a bit of a sabbatical from the team himself.
That's
at one point. Look, I completely independent to what that guy has to say. If you want to be the face of this team, I'm sorry, you show up. Like, when I think a big part of this is also going to be when you want to define someone's legacy later on, right? The fact is the US
legacy game.
You can talk about, are they going to achieve things with him there or not? I don't know. In terms of things that are going to be remembered, right? And realistically, to be remembered, it's going to have to be a World Cup run. To really stand out.
I don't disagree.
World Cup run of some variety. Yeah, man, I'm not saying a deep run, but I'm saying you're going to need to do something. You got to get out the group and you got to make a little bit of noise in the knockouts.
Win the whole thing, Yeah, totally.
When you are the kind of guy who I think picks and chooses a bit more during your career, you don't get the same kind as well of grace towards the end of your career. I think it's something to be said for the fact that guys like Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale, I think, will give it a lot more. No, but I'm saying...
No, but you're not wrong. You're honestly not
wrong.
Take
that from a Welsh
you're
perspective.
Not wrong. I don't
Those guys showed up every game they could, right? Now, Ramsey missed a lot through injury, okay? And Bale would be injured at times as well.
Sure.
But whenever they were fit, they would never turn down a call-up. Yeah. They would never try and pull out of a camp of any variety.
Yeah.
And to me, that changes how they're treated later in their career normally.
Yeah.
People don't have a negative word to say about them and their commitment to the country. People will with Pulisic.
Yeah.
And now he's got to do something a bit more. He's going to have to actually really achieve something, I think, on the field to cement a particularly positive legacy.
That's right. Devin will asking, should Pulisic be playing in the Gold Cup? Asking yours
you
truly. Yeah.
What do you think? You're the American here.
That I am. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're talking, you hear in the interview what he was talking about of, hey, I wanted to just do the international friendlies and then go away for the Gold Cup.
It's the last competitive games before the World Cup.
That is kind of the tough part. Is like
people hate gigs, Kevin. That's kind of the point. There are other reasons for that as well. But people don't like Ryan Giggs.
No, they do not. For multiple reasons. I think to me it's kind of like just go all or nothing. And I would also say, man, listen, it's even if that let's say we're talking about this is not before, the next year's the World Cup. Let's say this wasn't the last real main stretch of competitive opportunities and matches where you're going to have a good bulk of your team. Yes, there's guys injured and everything like that, but like this is the last real opportunity to best simulate what a World Cup environment in any sort of level is going to be like before the actual World Cup. Let's say that wasn't happening. Maybe it's a slightly different story. I do tend to agree with you of like, I still go with the all or nothing route, but especially you take those factors in of, this is right before the World Cup. This is the last stretch of competitive opportunities from a tournament perspective that the U.S. is really going to participate in. Yeah, man, to me, especially, right, whether, as often gotten the captain's armband and everything like that, I understand, I can sympathize. Hey, it's been a long season and everything like that. But like, man, it's just tough. I think it's not just him too. Like a lot of guys who opted out, and again, Pulisic is going to get a lot of the blame, but like all the guys who have opted out for this opportunity, you have so few opportunities to build cohesion. You got to take every single moment that you can. It's just tough, man. It's really difficult to try to build that fluidity on the international level, especially this U.S. team where you guys have playing all different types of styles overseas. There's been a whole new coaching staff. It's very tough to bring together. So yeah, I can understand especially why all the flack that he's getting, very magnified. You are still looking at Sherman, Texas.
I'm still looking at Sherman.
This man is obsessed. This man is obsessed. And this brings us to the end of PHX Rising Podcast. Got anything to say to the people? Any final words?
Don't go to Sherman, Texas.
All right. On that note, this has been another fine episode of the PHX Rising Podcast. Corey, you can follow us on the old Twitterverse at PHX__rising. Double the underscore.
Double the don't go to Sherman, Texas.
Double the don't go to Sherman, Texas. Sorry. Well, there goes that Visit Sherman, Texas advertising. You can follow me on Twitter at MaxDavidSimpson. You can follow me on Twitter at OJEvans18. You can follow Noah on Twitter at whatever his handle is because he doesn't want me to give it out.
No, what's your handle?
I don't have one. Actually, I do, but you don't want to find it.
I think we do.
I read it last show, and he kind of made me quote. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. I got a new club.
What's your club?
Palermo. Palermo.
Okay. Yeah,
Palermo.
I like that. Good crest, good colors. We like that.
Yes,
we like that. Yeah, you can follow us at our respective
What is it
places.
about Palermo that draws you in? Also, did people see that Lyon got relegated?
Yeah, that's kind of
administratively relegated
That's
to the
crazy.
second division in France. That's huge.
You so bad, not even based on scoring position. You got administrative relegated. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, follow us on all the places. We'll be back 6 p.m. next week. It's a beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when, apparently, according to Owen, you don't go to Sherman, Texas.
Don't go to Sherman, Texas.
We all silly like the mayor.